Picture this. The year is 1972, and the gaming world is about to be revolutionized by a simple game of virtual tennis known as Pong. This humble beginning marked a seismic shift in entertainment as the world was introduced to the magic of video games. Pong, with its two-dimensional graphics, was simplistic, showcasing just two paddles and a dot representing the ball. Yet it was groundbreaking. Games of this era, like Pong and Space Invaders, were characterized by limited colors and low resolution. Developers worked within these constraints, relying heavily on the player's imagination to fill in the gaps. The pixelated aliens of Space Invaders were more of a suggestion, an idea, than a detailed rendering. But within this simplicity lay the beauty of early video game design. These were the building blocks, the first steps in a long journey of technological advancements and artistic innovation. Thus began the pixel era, setting the foundation for the evolution of video game graphics. Fast forward to the late 80s and early 90s, we're now entering the 16-bit era, where games started to look less like blobs and more like the characters they represented. Suddenly, our pixelated heroes were being given a new depth, a new vibrancy. This was a time when consoles like the Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis were becoming household names, bringing 16-bit graphics to the masses. It was in this era that we saw the birth of iconic franchises like Sonic and Mario, both of which shone brightly on these 16-bit platforms. But the 16-bit era didn't just give us more detailed sprites. It also paved the way for the transition to 3D graphics. Games like Star Fox and Doom were pushing the boundaries, using cutting-edge technology to create a sense of depth and perspective previously unseen in video games. As technology advanced, so did the graphics, pushing the boundaries of what was thought possible. The mid-90s and early 2000s saw a new era dawning, one that brought gaming worlds to life in 3 dimensions. The introduction of 3D graphics marked a transformative moment in the gaming industry. Suddenly, we were no longer limited to the flat landscapes of 2D. We could explore vast, intricate environments, full of depth and detail. The polygonal graphics of early PlayStation games might seem primitive now, but they were groundbreaking at the time. They laid the groundwork for the increasingly realistic visuals we would see in the Xbox and PlayStation 2 era. Consider key games that pushed the envelope. Final Fantasy VII, for instance, showed us that 3D graphics could offer not just more realistic environments, but also more emotive storytelling. Then came Halo, a game that brought a new level of realism to the first-person shooter genre. As games began to look more lifelike, the line between virtual and reality started to blur. Today we're living in an era where video game graphics are so realistic, they're sometimes hard to distinguish from real life. The rise of photorealistic graphics has been nothing short of breathtaking. Once, we admired the simplistic charm of pixels. Now we marvel at the intricate details of virtual worlds that mirror our own in astonishing ways. New gaming technologies such as ray tracing have been game changers, literally. This technique simulates the way light behaves in the real world, bringing an unprecedented level of realism to games. Shadows and reflections are no longer approximations, but accurate representations of how they would appear in our world. Modern games like The Last of Us Part 2 and Red Dead Redemption 2 exemplify this trend, boasting graphics that rival Hollywood movies. Their immersive environments and lifelike characters blur the lines between fantasy and reality, providing players with an unparalleled gaming experience. We've come a long way from the pixelated graphics of the past, and who knows what the future holds. From pixels to photorealism, the evolution of video game graphics is a testament to the technological advancements and artistic innovations of the gaming industry. This journey, which began in the early days of pixel art, has taken us through the 16-bit revolution, the birth of 3D, and finally, to the photorealistic visuals of modern gaming. Each leap forward has not only enhanced the visual experience, but also deepened our immersion in the gaming world. The rise of realism in the 3D era, for instance, blurred the lines between reality and the virtual realm, offering us a new way to experience narratives and engage with characters. Today we stand on the precipice of yet another leap forward, as virtual reality and augmented reality technologies push the boundaries of what's possible. As we look to the future, one thing is clear: the evolution of video game graphics is far from over.